Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 39 of the Army Super Duty build. You know, one of the cool things about my airline job is that I can work as much or as little as I want. If I want to take a couple weeks off or a month off, then I can just drop my trips. Now, I won't get paid for those trips, but if the time off is more important than money, then I can do that. On the other hand, if I want to make some extra money, as long as I can fit it into my schedule, I can pick up extra trips and earn some extra money. And that is exactly what I've been doing pretty much this entire year. I've been working a lot of trips to get some extra money to buy the parts I need for this airplane. But that means I've been home, or I haven't been home hardly at all to actually work on the airplane. But now that the good summer weather is coming around Michigan, I'm not picking up any extra trips. So the good news is I'm going to have a lot more time at home to get some progress done on this airplane. Now, over the last week or so, I have made some good progress. You can see here that I did get the interior of the airplane painted, and I've got a whole bunch of just little things done on the inside. That is what I'm going to show you in this video. What I'm laying down here is a rubber anti-slip tape. I have this in my cruiser, and it's really nice because this is where your heels will rest, and it keeps your heels from sliding around. What I like about this stuff also is it's not sandpaper. It's just a smooth type of rubber, but still anti-slip. What I'm doing with this tape is just positioning the black part and putting the tape here just to align it so that when I peel this off and go back to install it, I'll kind of have a reference of where it goes. I'm cutting this off instead of tearing it because if I tear it, that paper will leave fibers on the sticky part, so it's much better to use scissors. And I only do about half of it just so I can kind of slide it around and position it, and then when I get it where I want, I stick down the sticky part, that locks it into position, and then I can peel off the rest of the paper and stick the rest of it down. I really like these rubberized anti-slip things, stickers, because there's different kinds you can get, and some of them are basically just sandpaper. They're really scratchy, like they would scratch your hand, and sometimes it can flake off. Whereas this rubber stuff, it's still smooth to touch, it's not gonna scratch you, but it's also anti-slip too, so it keeps the heels of your feet from slipping around. I really like this stuff. You can see I did put another one a little bit back here, and I don't think somebody would have their feet up here, but I figured I'd put it there just in case. This rubber anti-slip tape is kind of nice to work with. I just used a washer here on all four corners to round the edges because I don't want a 90-degree edge there. That's kind of what catches things and can start to peel up, even though this does stick really well, but it just looks better rounded also. So I got it cut to shape, and just like the front, put this one on the back here. I didn't use that blue masking tape to position it. I kind of found that I really didn't need to do that anyway. Now up on the floorboards, my plan, same with the back seat area, my plan is to see if I can find some 1/4-inch plywood. And I want to cut out some nice floorboards for the left and right side, front and back, and then polyurethane them, make them look real nice. And then I figure what I do is I would mount them on that 1/4-inch sticky back foam, kind of, you know, those strips of weather stripping foam, because that way it would kind of keep the floorboard above these rivets, and it would kind of cushion it a little bit, and it would prevent it from scratching the paint. So that's my plan here. I just have to see if I can find 1/4-inch plywood. I don't know if Home Depot has that or not. I haven't looked yet, but that's my plan for the floors. I'm sure this will probably get in the way later and I'll have to remove it, but for now I installed the fire extinguisher just because it looks cool. And while I'm working on the front half of the fuselage, I figured I might as well rivet in these brake actuator brackets. There's 4 of them here, and they get riveted in from the bottom. And I put a bolt through there as I rivet them just to make sure that they are lined up. And here's all 4 of them riveted in place. They look nice, work good. I also installed my USB port in the right armrest of the jump seat. So that's in there ready to wire. Probably one of the most fun parts is making these little stickers and labels to put on there. So I have the fire extinguisher here, and over there I have one for the charge port. I also wanted to get the firewall put in place because I want to get everything ready for the nose gear. So with the firewall in place, I'm just putting some clecos in the sides. And then I have this assembly that gets riveted or clecoed for now onto the front of the firewall. There it is. Now I got a bunch of parts painted. These are some firewall angles that I have painted in the green, and I have the stiffeners for the forward inside part of the fuselage. And you can see how I painted these. I put them in clecos and then just drilled a 1/4-inch hole in the wood, and that makes a nice little stand to get those painted. And over here I have the rest of those forward inside fuselage stiffeners, and I have the nose gear fork painted here. That looks really nice. And by the way I painted this, well, you can see I just have a dowel rod going through the holes. But to paint the bottom, I took this coat hanger and I put it in here like that, and I lift it up, spray the top part, and then put it back down, and everything else I can spray just like that. All right, I have all of the stiffeners clecoed to the firewall and to the sides of the fuselage. I'll wait just a little bit to rivet them because I don't know if I need to take this firewall off again. Just in the process of putting in the engine mounts and maybe the landing gear. So I don't need to rivet it right now, but it is ready to rivet if I decide I don't need to take it back off again. So the interior of the airplane is starting to look really nice. I just painted these hinges for the baggage compartment doors. You can see they're green. So I'm clecoing these in place, and at the end of the video, I will show you the cargo boxes riveted in place. Well, I think the next step for today is to get these angles drilled. I have to drill 2 holes so that they can go on here like this, and that is what holds the gear to the fuselage. And then I also have to cut out some notches in these rubber pads here, because the rubber pads go in here like this, and they go between these 2 parts here. So you'll see I have to kind of cut out a half circle on each end. I know this is a little bit dark, but I'm drilling the holes in the aft spar
for these stiffeners on the upper fuselage. They go above the rear jump seat. They're also the attach points for the shoulder harness. I wanted to catch as many metal shavings as I could, so I laid down this towel just to catch the shavings. This is what it looks like when it's on. I'll just have to get it primed and painted and riveted in place now. I was working a little bit on the top center console piece. I cut out the U shape at the bottom. This is for the stick clearance, and I just did that with a nibbler. It was pretty quick and easy to do.
So one of the big deals of getting the inside of the fuselage painted is that I can now start to install systems. For example, right now I'm working on the fuel lines. Once that's done, I can work on mounting some antennas. Some of the Dynon avionics modules will get mounted back here. So you can see here, down here, I've installed a 90-degree, they're not tight in here. You can see it's just a 90-degree elbow fuel fitting. So my fuel line will come over here and it'll run up inside this channel, and there will be another 90-degree fitting up here that comes out to the wing. That's exactly how my cruiser is, the fuel lines are in the cruiser. So come down to connect here. Once they're here, they're going to run inside here up to this Newton fuel selector valve, which, by the way, I like much better than the and air valve. I think it's just a nicer looking valve. And these are available from Aircraft Specialty. And Aircraft Specialty, I mentioned it before, they are going to make all the fuel lines here. So I want to get these measurements so that I can send them to Steve, and then he can get the fuel lines made. But you can see on the bottom of this fuel selector valve, it has these banjo fittings. So the fuel line is just going to go from here. It'll run on top of here, like I said, on the inside of this center tunnel down to here. That'll be one line, and then another line all the way up to the wing. All right, guys, two more things I want to show you. I did get some 1/4-inch plywood, and I cut out some floorboards, and I'm not sure how I like them. They don't look as good as I thought they would look, and I think it might be because they're too light. And my neighbor Gordon was also saying I should probably get some better wood, like some birch wood or something like that. So I think I might remake these, or I might try to stain them a darker color first and see how they look. I think they will work well. You know, it'll be good to put your feet down on here instead of the floor. So I think they'll serve the purpose, but I'm not sure how I like these two in there now. All right, and the last thing to show you, I have riveted in my cargo compartments. These are actually a lot bigger, not than I thought, but than I realized. There's a lot of room in there. And you can see I can just put things like oil or window cleaner. In that one there, I have a headset bag. So maybe when I'm not flying with a passenger, I can keep the headset in there. Just things that don't weigh a lot, but you know, you kind of want out of the way. So I think it looks pretty cool. It's nice to have that little bit of extra storage back there. So there they are. And I just have to paint the doors, and I can get those installed. And then I also have these pieces for the rear top fuselage right by the side window. To get those, I have to get those painted, and those will be ready to install. All right, everybody, thanks for watching the video. Hey, if you don't mind, please give the video a thumbs up. It does help the channel. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, or follow the progress on this airplane, or even watch some of the Blue Angels cruiser flying videos that I make. So I got a lot more coming for you. I think today I'm going to get this airplane on the main gear. Probably not the nose gear yet because I'm waiting for a part from the powder coater, but a lot more is going to start happening on this airplane, I think, because I have a lot more time off of work. So we'll see you on the next episode, number 40.